More than 2 decades ago, this was all cornfields, and our owners and founders turned these cornfields into a beautiful motorsports facility. Surrounding us now are intermodal, warehouses. Everything has grown up around here, and Audubon has grown up itself. We now have over 500 members, and we're growing. We're the largest motorsports club in the country, and we got real estate options. We've got member racing, a lot to offer here. Audubon was the first of its kind and literally changed the motorsports industry. Now over 70% of the tracks being built worldwide follow the motorsports club model. We're in the midst of celebrating our 20th season, and now our focus turns to racing. Today we've got our premier class with the Spec Miatas, followed up by the GT Challenge Series with the high horsepower, and lastly we're going to have the Radical Cup Challenge, high downforce, top speeds, lots of action. Beyond that, this weekend, we've got drag racing, time attack, drift rides, and the kart league. Off track, we've got dinners, we have kids' activities, and we have a live concert tonight. I don't know what else more you could want. With all this activity going on, there's really only one thing to say. Welcome to Festival of Speed. And now let's introduce our drivers for today's Spec Miata race. Bringing up the rear of the field is going to be Jason Greenwood, starting from North Pit Lane, and Jeff Newman. In the next row, Scott Benning Jr. and Adam Lavelle. All right. Next up, we've got Eric Gortner and Norm Malter. In the 14th row, it's going to be Gary Traverso and Alan Zucker. In the 13th row, we've got Mark Basso and Noel Sachs. Next row is going to be Nolan Lehman and Connor Ryan. Next up is Bruce Malter and Sean Benet. In front of them is going to be Connor Miklos and John Southard. 14th row is going to be Bob Reisinger and Eamon Ryan. Next row includes another Ryan. It's Emmett Ryan and Luke Satterfield. Next up is Dave Hicks and Mark Stadolski. Next, we got Gavin Gleitzman and Kevin Lockridge. And now our top 10 for this Spec Miata race. In row 5, it's going to be Scott Ballard and Bob Groslick. Row 4 will be Mike Bernardi and Scott Bowman. Row 3 will be Greg Sorg and Ethan Tyler. Next we've got Jake Malter and Billy Benning. And of course our front row is made up of two of our biggest rivals in Spec Miata, Taro Kishida and our pole sitter Matt Alexander. Guys, if we can grab a word here, looked like qualifying was about a tenth of a second apart. 20-lap race, it's longer than normal. What's going to be the strategy? Do you think you got to save some tires?
I think I'm just going to wait for Taro.
Taro, you've got a lot of patience. We've seen that out there. Are you just going to let Matt set the pace and then pass him on the last lap? Is that the plan?
That's the plan. Let him push the air, and I stay behind him.
Yeah, that seems to be what usually happens, right, guys? Have a great race. Have a great race, guys. All right. So let's see who we else got around here on pit lane here. We got Craig Cunningham here. Craig, you used to race Formula cars. Do you wish you could be out here in the Miatas? Do you think you can compete?
I tried the Miatas here, and these guys are really good. So the back of the pack was not much fun for me. But I love the Miatas, love the racing here, and it's a good turnout today. Thanks for everybody.
Yeah, we'd love to see you back out there someday. We're going to get back to Sean here in a minute. Gregory, you're going to be doing the concert tonight, but you're also playing the national anthem for you. Have you ever been on track? Have you ever done anything like this?
Not yet, but there's a first time for everything, right?
All right, we got to make that happen real soon. Let's see who else we got here on pit lane. We got the Bennings here. They're all lined up. They've got beautiful ladies with them. As the head here, what's the deal with the fan crowd here?
Major moral support, and they say yes when we want to spend money on race cars.
That's fantastic. Everybody needs something like that. Who else we got? Bob, how'd qualifying go for you? You had a little bit of trouble, but you got everything together for the race here? You ready to go?
Well, my family's here to watch me, so I put my best foot forward.
There you go. All right, fantastic. Let's see who else we got out here. Kurt, you're going to be in the GT race later on. Have you ever tried a Miata?
I haven't. I'm a BMW dealer. I got to run a BMW.
Can't be seen in a Miata, right?
I'm not a Mazda.
You need something a little faster than that anyways, right? Let's see who else we got on here. Connor, your return. So fresh off of doing some track and field, right? And that was very successful?
I hope so. I mean, I tried my best, but it was a lot of fun, though.
Okay, you made some accomplishments. Was there any major goals you want to point out here?
I mean, I hit top 10 at Central College in both the 60 and 110 hurdles, and then our shuttle hurdle team was close to breaking the school record again, but always fun, always fun.
There you go, but faster in a Miata, right? Racing's more fun than running? Yeah, I agree completely. Gavin, one of our youngest drivers here, Gavin Gleitzman. Have you turned 15 yet?
No, sir.
Still 14, huh? All right. From karting to cars, what do you think has been the biggest adjustment for you? What's the big thing like, wow, I really had to learn that?
Definitely the car for sure.
Okay.
Heat, shifting, all that stuff is just a lot different.
Have you had to learn race strategy? The races out here are a little bit longer than in karts. Have you had to learn like a little bit of patience or setting up passes?
I've always felt like I've been better in longer races, so I think this fits me more.
All right, well, good luck, Gavin. Let's see who else we got here. Everyone's hiding from me. We got Bob here from Advanced. Hey, Bob, don't be hiding on me. I told you I was going to come to you. How many cars you got in the field here?
Besides 2 out of this shop, probably another 10 or 12.
All right, so you got your hands full. Are you guys going to do well? You going to represent?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. All right, let's see who else we got out here. Let's see. We got some fans for Bob here. Who else we got standing around here? Spencer McFarland. You're going to be helping with the announcement a little bit later on. So you've done some karting yourself. You've done some entertaining type things. This is your first time kind of being on our broadcast team. What do you think of the race here? You got a favorite?
I'm not, as an announcer, I can't really say who's my favorite, but there might be 1 or 2 favorites out there. But I'm excited to get started with this, and I can't wait to surprise interview some people.
Yeah, watch out for Spencer. You might be up on the deck later on. We'll see what we got going on here. Who do we got? Tim O'Donnell. Tim, you've been involved since the very beginning, and my recollection is you've been on track maybe twice. So as someone who came into this really not understanding motorsports, I think now you have an appreciation for the industry and the sport itself. Now that you've gotten a better knowledge, do you think you might get on track one of these times?
Well, I've been on track, I think, 4 times over the last 20 years.
I didn't give him enough credit. Yeah, 4 times. Okay, so he's almost an expert.
But I'll tell you what, I got a huge education about 20 years ago about motorsports enthusiasm here in the Chicago region, and it's just outstanding. So, yes, one of these days I'll get my behind out there on the track. I need some instruction, Mike, so hopefully you can help me out there with the Driver Academy.
There you go. Sounds good. The Driver Academy, great place to start. So we're 20 years in now, and we've heard the stories of how things started, and everybody thought you were crazy. So now that we're 20 years in, what do you think's the future here? Like, where can we go? How big can we get?
I don't know, but we're going forward. The club, the community that's been developed out here has just been outstanding, and the sky's the limit, really. We've got a lot of capacity for growth. The CART, the Driver Academy, the real estate developments we have on site, the support of the city of Joliet. We're just thrilled to be where we're at, and we're really excited to go where we're going. So we're really pleased.
Very good. Let's catch a couple drivers here. Noel, you were kind of a last-minute addition to the race here. Start a little bit towards the back here. What do you think? Can you move up?
I think so. The whole thing is stay on the track. The black surface is better than the green.
I saw that look you sent up there, and I think you were sizing up people like, yeah, I got him, I got him, I got him, I got him. So you're planning on moving up, right?
That's the plan, man.
All right, very good. We got Mark Basso here. So we gave Tim some credit for learning the motorsports industry. Mark was the crazy one who knew the motorsports industry and thought, hey, we ought to do this. So we're 20 years on. We'll save some of the great stories for Oktoberfest, but throughout the years, Mark, you've been a chase race champion, but now you're dabbling in Miatas. The first race you did last year was in the wet. Now you've got a legit race in the dry. Tell me, are you nervous?
Of course I'm nervous. If you're not nervous, you should be, because there's a lot of talented drivers here, and but I think with an hour race, I think it'll be exciting because there's some strategy. I think if you go out too hard, you're not going to have tires left, and so to finish first, you must first finish.
And so do you have a goal for yourself of a finishing position? I'm going to pass 10 cars, or I'm just not going to get past at all, or I just want to survive?
Well, obviously, as I mentioned, you've got to finish first. But, yeah, I think I can move up. I think, some people might get a little excited, and I plan to take advantage of their overexcitement. So, yeah.
Very good, very good. So chase races, if you're familiar with chase races, kind of one car starts at a time, now you're pretty much in the middle of about over 30 cars. Turn one's going to be quite a bit different. Have you thought about turn one? What's your strategy just getting through the first corner?
Yeah, I think that what the chase race teaches you is consistency, and I think that's the important thing in a race like this is you've got to be consistent, hit your marks, don't make mistakes. You make one mistake and 10 cars are going to go by you. So I think it's important to hold your line and not make mistakes.
Yeah, getting through turn one, that's going to be important. We hope everybody makes it clean through there. Let's see who else we got over here. I see the Benets standing here. They got some family around here. We got Sean in the race. We got Michael giving us some great advice, I hope. And then we've got the lovely Tara. So, Tara, have you ever been on track?
I have been on track. I had my boxer out once.
I remember that. I do remember that. And so when you see your boys here racing hard, do you give them some advice? Do you get nervous, or you just let them do their thing?
I kind of let them do their thing because they've been doing it so long that I just feel like they know what they should be doing by now. But I tell people it's why I color my hair.
Good support there, good support. Michael, quick question for you. This is the tough one. Who's faster, you or Sean?
Jensen.
There we go. All right, we're going to head our way back up the pit lane here and keep going with the festivities. We've got just a few more minutes before we're getting ready to go with this race. So we're going to find our way to Sean Young here. Sean, so we've named you as our Grand Marshal for today. And the reason we did that is you played an important part in really getting the club going and the motorsports going as well. So in the early days, for those who may not know Sean, Sean was instrumental in bringing in new members, lots of excitement and support of the club. Sean really played a key role in getting Spec Miata going. I remember we were having a conversation in the clubhouse. I think this is probably in the fall of 2007, and 2007. And you had said, you know what we ought to do? We ought to get guys to buy some Spec Miatas. We could have a racing series. And I think I said that sounded like a good idea. I don't know if I said something different, but I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And you worked with a whole bunch of guys, and wouldn't you know it, by the spring of the next year, our first Miata race, you had 18 guys lined up in our first race. That's what started this whole crazy thing. Can you imagine when we had that conversation in those first races that it would have grown into this?
Unbelievable. I mean, absolutely. It's fantastic. This is exactly what I thought everything would turn out here at Audubon.
This is exactly how you planned it.
Not exactly how I planned it, but exactly what I would have hoped would have happened.
Yeah, no, yeah, go ahead.
And with the Miatas, I mean, even though some people didn't like the idea at first, it was a cost level that everybody could enjoy and could enter into.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about money.
Yeah, no, it was a great idea, and it took what was a motorsports club that started out with a lot of street cars and turned it into a racing club, which obviously we all know that's a big part of what we do here now. Do you wish you could get back in there now? When we first started this Spec Miata racing, Sean was very dominant. You were our first Spec Miata champion. Do you think you could take these guys now?
Well, I'm not going to go out on a limb, but I'm going to go out on a limb saying that I would give it one hell of a shot.
I think with maybe just a couple practice sessions, you'd be right there. So tell me, give me an example of some of your favorite memories from when you were racing here.
Well, one of my favorites, which was a common one, was always my goal at the end of the race was always have a Mike Keck in my mirror. All joking aside, the best part about all of this has always been, and I think forever will be, the people, the camaraderie, and the club atmosphere that's created. Still being able to be competitive, and at the end of the race, the end of the day, everybody should still get along and have fun.
Yeah, and I think that theme still is so important. I always say the club racing is so important to the club, but it's not really what happens on track. It's after what happens after the race in the clubhouse, sharing a beer, the stories. Yeah, so we really appreciate everything you've done, Sean. So we'll get right back to you. Now, if you join me, we're going to honor this great nation that we have the opportunity to live in by the singing of our national anthem. So I'd like to introduce Gregory Hyde in honoring our country.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. We can't wait to see the concert tonight. Here comes our beautiful Bell flyover from Bell Helicopter. Drivers, it's time to be in your cars. Drivers, in your cars. Now, Sean, if you don't mind, would you give us those most famous words in motorsports and get this thing going?
Drivers, start your engines.
Here we go. Great job, man. Thank you.
And good afternoon to everyone here at Autobahn Country Club and to you viewers who are watching at home to the Festival of Speed. Today we have an action-packed schedule with our first race being Spec Miata, and for our 20th anniversary of Autobahn being open, we have a special race for the Spec Miata drivers. 20 laps instead of 10 laps.
Exactly. So 20 laps was going to take about maybe an hour or so. So we're going to really have to see the strategy of these drivers if they want to start out hot, if they want to go a little bit cold. We'll see what they want to do.
Now, one thing I want to add on is the conditions of today. 77 degrees, a slight cloudy, but these drivers definitely have a time on their hands, especially trying to get their tires warmed up into temperature and to get this race started.
And as you can see on the grid today, we have 34 Miatas out there, which is quite a large number there. And, of course, kind of important, thank you, Kyle, to introduce ourselves. My name is Julia. I am one of your commentators.
And I am Shelton, and I will be helping commentate as well today. So as the drivers get into their cars and get ready to start their formation lap, let's talk more about what we're going to expect for this race. So 20 laps, almost an hour of driving. So what do you think these drivers are going to be looking out for while they start this race?
I mean, really, it's a lot about stamina out here and trying to think about if they want to go all out at the start or really give it all at the end, different strategies for drivers. And we can see we have one pace lap out there, and then after one pace lap, we will be going green. Now, we have a beautiful shot of the field and our top 10. So we have Matt Alexander, number 157, starting out in first place. And then we have Taro Kishido. And Matt and Taro have had a really good battle so far. So we'll see where the race takes them. In third, we have Billy Benning. In fourth, we have Jake Malter. And when we get to the camera, when we see an in-car camera, that will be in Jake Malter's car. In fifth place, we have Ethan Tyler. In sixth, we have Greg Sorg. Seventh is Scott Bowman. 8 is Mike Bernardi. 9 is Bob Groselek. And 10 is Scott Ballard.
And for the SM2 top 10, we have Kevin Lawrich, Mark Stadowski, Emmett Ryan, Eamon Ryan, Bob Riesinger, John Souther, Connor Miklos, Sean Benet, Bruce Malter, and Connor Ryan. And that is your SM2 top 10.
What is really interesting about this upcoming race is that we have Spec Miata mixed with SM2. So they're going based purely off of qualifying time, which position they're in. So the field is mixed up. We're really going to see a good battle here. I'm very excited for what's to come. We see some drivers warming up their tires by going left and right, other drivers just going straight down. This is all about strategy.
Ask the question of strategy.
here we are inside Jake Malter's car with a wonderful in-camera shot, and we can see that they're going kind of slow right now, but we'll see speeds of up to 80, 90 miles an hour. Beautiful drone shot down the straightaway here. Oh my gosh, we couldn't have had a better day for this. Seriously, the weather, it's a little bit hot, maybe. They're gonna get maybe kind of sweaty in their cars, but that's what's it in racing. Down and dirty sometimes, and a little bit of cloud coverage. It's just a beautiful day.
Yeah, these drivers will get a little bit more than just kind of sweaty dealing with this hour of driving. But as we have this beautiful drone shot, we can see the cars just weaving back and forth just to get heat into their tires. Some drivers may be weaving back and forth. Some driver may be dragging their brake to get inner core temp into their tires just to help them for turn 1 entrance and turn 2. But this is definitely going to be a great start with all these drivers lining up into positions to take the final couple of corners so they can take the green flag. Now, you were talking about strategy earlier. One strategy that these drivers have is just to survive. They know it's going to be an hour long. They know it's 20 laps, and a lot of these drivers aren't used to it, so they're going to try to survive as much as they can, stay out of trouble for the first couple of laps. So you may or may not see a lot of battles happening, but definitely when these laps start closing down, you should start seeing these drivers make moves and try to make the most out of the situation.
Exactly, and we are coming around our final corner, coming to the straightaway, and we are almost about to start our race. The beautiful field, 2x2, these Miatas. You can't get better than this. And we want to give a huge thank you to our pace car, Lexus, the official pace car of Autobahn's member racing series. And we are green flag. Boogity boogity boo! Let's go racing, boys! And look at that!
They're going 2-3 wide into turn 1. They're keeping it kind of nice and steady here as they go on to South Track. Still 2 wide. Everyone's being respectable of their positions. You got a couple of people going 3 wide going into turn 1 of South. Nice and clean there. Everyone's getting a line. A little bit of lockup further back down the field. But it seems like everyone's getting through the first couple of corners nice and easy, not being too aggressive and not being too lenient with the other drivers either. Now we're in the car with Jake Malter as he tries to make his way up the field, just keeping the car in front of him, just where he is. And as the leaders come around turn 6 of South, there is a very good gap between all these cars. Good couple of battles heading towards the back of the field as well. Still nose to tail. Everyone's being safe, being responsible, taking their time. As they're coming around the track on cold tires still. Cold tires, cold brakes. They're going to take a couple of laps and be steady with their pace, not make a lot of aggressive move, but definitely try to push on and try to make a couple of positions if they didn't get a good qualifying.
Exactly, and this is where some more of the strategy comes into play. We were talking to some of the drivers, and they were saying, for example, Bob, he was saying he just wants to race his own race. He doesn't want to necessarily focus on the other cars. He wants to focus on his racing and his skills. Oh, and we have a little bit of a battle here. Oh, 3 wide it looks like, but good, clean racing. Doesn't look like anything bad is happening. I am enjoying this so far. We got a beautiful shot down here.
And as we make it onto North Track, these guys are definitely being respectable for each other. This is where you see all the maturity of the drivers, and they're just keeping it nice and clean for the first couple laps because they know this is a very long race. We got a car going off, but they're still able to manage it on track. Another car going off. We got a couple cars going off on North 7. still nose to tail for a bunch of these guys as they're just trying to get settled in and just have their tires and brakes warm up and just be safe for the first couple of laps. Uh-oh, we have a car off. We have a car that spun in the last corner of North Track. We have the 0-2 of...
Let me see. Yeah. And it looks like, right at corner 19, we had 2 cars spin off, but they are back on track and back into the race. Oh, it looks like that was Bob Reisinger and David Hicks. Bob Roslack. My apologies for that. And that's what can be really difficult about the Spec Miata races, is that they are neck and neck sometimes, right next to each other, or bumper to bumper. It really can be difficult if you want to try and get some draft or to go for the corner. As we see with Jake Malter, he's kind of staying right behind the car in front of him. That's his strategy, but we'll see if they want to try and beat each other in the corner. It looks like we have Taro in first place, and that makes sense, the battle between Taro and Matt, but we will continue to see what's happening as we are going down the little turn and straightaway.
And as we said before, it's a Taro and Matt kind of show going on here for the first lap. So I'm pretty sure a bunch of these drivers are going to try to keep up and work together to try to stay close as possible to them in the first couple of laps. Did we have a couple of battles happening coming across North Track? Going into turn 3 of North, Jake Malter in-car camera. He has gotten past the car ahead, so he's just a little about two seconds away from the car ahead, so he has a lot of work to do for right now.
Battle.
We have a battle heading into North 6.
It looks like Matt Alexander is trying to pull ahead of Taro Kishida. We will see what happens in the next corner. We have Matt pulling ahead into first place, it looks like, and they are really bumper to bumper here. We have 5-1. Oh my goodness. Look at them go. But it's good, clean racing. They really are keeping it safe so far. And that's what we really like to promote here at Autobahn, is that we love the racing, we love the passion, but there is also so much professionality with the racers trying to keep it as safe as they possibly can.
And to talk about safety, we have a couple of drivers who have been moved to the back of the back of the grid due to avoidable contacts in past racing. We have Jason Greenwood, Tim Miller. We also have Jeff Newman that are all starting from the back. So they have a lot of work to do, especially in this race. But they still have a lot of time left. So we have a car going slightly off.
Those quick four-offs we are probably going to see pretty often because it is a little bit deceptive. On these straightaways here, they are getting up to almost 100 miles an hour. They are really going fast. So that quick little four-off, they can correct that, get right back on track. And we are going into corner 8, corner 10, and then down that straightaway on South Track, which is the longest straightaway we have on the track here.
Now, to add on with the going 4 off, a lot of these drivers don't want to go 4 off because once you go 4 off and those tires are already heated, they accumulate all that grass and dirt onto the tires. So you're going to have to, be easy for the next couple of turns, be easy into your braking zones because it's very easy to lock up your tires going into these corners after having an off like that. So a lot of these drivers are going to try to focus to stay on the track and stay off of that dirty line.
It is a very good day that the track is dry, it is not wet, it doesn't look like there's any weepers out there, which is a problem that can occur when there's been so much rain that accumulates and seeps up through the track, but it's all looking very beautiful out there. We have 08 Ethan 157. Matt Alexander is still in first place. He's holding his own. But it's fascinating because we have a huge range of ages who are racing today. We have number 51, Gavin Gleitzman. He is 14 years old. He has been karting since he was 8 years old. But then we have seasoned professionals like 60 Taro Kashida.
And it looks like Taro Kashida is trying to make a pass on Matt Alexander. Heading into turn 2, coming into South 1. We got as the field spreads out, we see our little battles happening now. So a lot of these guys are probably going to be working together. And here's the thing about Spec Miata. Spec Miatas is probably the toughest race series there is at Autobahn, only because of the closeness of the racing and the intensity of the racing that you have. And it's from green to checkered, just pure intensity, pure focus. And these guys are definitely handling it very well in the first 3 laps of this race. No incidents so far, as we can see. But everyone is keeping themselves rather relaxed, keeping themselves at a distance from each other, just trying to fill each other out still. You have some cars that are able to break away from the pack, and they're just going to sit there for a minute because they're going to need that little help to try to get them back to the next group. So today you're going to see a lot of cars just kind of nose to tail each other, just pushing each other down a straight and just staying a little bit of distance behind, because there's really nothing that you can do to these cars performance-wise. So it's all about the skill in the car. It's all about the setup that you have. So these guys are just focused on hitting their line, hitting their marks, and hopefully working together to get to that top position.
And we see 808 and 51 through these corners trying to get ahead of each other. Corners 8 and 10, then going down that straight. Oh, wow. We really have the front of the pack here pulling ahead. It is quite amazing how these cars, they all are built basically the same. There's no special modifications. You're on kind of an even playing field, which is what makes it so fun to watch, because everyone has a chance to win. There's a lot of skill involved, strategy like we have talked about. Look at them going through the corner here. We also want to give a shout out, as you can see, to our corner workers who are stationed at every corner, wanting to make sure that the cars stay safe. If there is an incident, they will be waving their flags. We will be talking to race control. Everything here at Autobahn is as safe as possible as you can be with racing. Oh, it looks like we had a quick little maybe 2 off, but right back in on it.
And as the front runners come across the start-finish line, we have 4 laps done of this race. 4 laps, and it's just great racing so far. It's like your little packs are all developing, and your little battles are all developing as well. So you definitely get to see just the drivers, just the racecraft and how they're going to handle the situation that they're in. It's just very interesting. It's very wonderful to see. You can see different amount of racecrafts, different amount of passes that happen. So these guys are definitely going at it, especially in the SM2 group. These guys are nose to tail, 5, 6, 7-way battle.
It is definitely races within a race. There are the little packs, like you were saying, and no one is giving up fighting. We have races right at the front and people battling right at the back, and everyone here is giving it their best shot. And we are seeing great racing so far. The front of the pack with number 8, Mr. Mike Bernardi, number 157, Matt Alexander. They are really pulling ahead. Wow. We have a 2-minute 48.271 seconds. Really close though. Neck and neck. Look, we have all 5-1 making a pass, and he did it successfully. So, wow. Really good racing so far.
Now, to add to the more endurance factor of this race, since we have a lot of strategies going on, and most of these people's strategies are just to survive, let's get to more in depth to it by other than just surviving. So the factors of endurance racing is fuel management, tire management, picking and choosing your battles, picking when to work together and when not to work together. That is the... Oh, we have a car off at South 11. We have a kid still trying to figure out who that was that went off at South 11. Who was it? Yeah, we're still trying to figure out who was that spun out on South 11. But going back into the factors of endurance racing, oh, well, hold on. I think we're actually getting some word about who spun off.
It looks like number 229, Jeff Newman, was the one who spun out, and he is trying to get back on track. It is insane how fast-paced things like this happen. It is good that he was safe and he's able to get back on track, but he is the one who actually started out in the back of the pack because of infraction penalty he had in avoidable contact. So we will see if he can still pull ahead or not. It still is racing.
Yeah, Jeff Newman was the car that spun out at South 11, but he has a lot of work to do now since he lost so much time off of that one little mistake. So hopefully he can get his way back up to the tail end of the field to at least have a fight in his hand. But going back to the aspects of endurance racing. So for endurance racing, you have tire management, fuel management, picking and choosing your battles. And right now, I think a lot of these Miatas can't make it on their current fuel settings. So no fuel management at all. But definitely tire management could become a factor towards the end of the race. So you may see a lot of these drivers struggling for grip at the tail end of the race, but you might see some drivers. Oh, we have a car off at South 1, number 523 of Connor Miklos.
And we can see the corner worker trying to communicate with him, telling him when it is safe to go back on track. This is right at corner 1. It looks like he is stopping.
Oh.
I can't tell if there is any engine sound. We are waving yellow.
Yeah, that left rear does not look like in the right position. Yeah, he might have had help in that situation. So we are local yellow. Yeah, that's so unfortunate for him. He was doing so well, too. Hopefully he can get it back started if there's no problem, but that left rear does not look like it pointed in the right direction.
However, there are still 14 laps remaining, and it simultaneously feels like we've gone through so many laps, but also that it has just started. And this race is really anybody's race. We have in first place Taro Kishida, second place Matt Alexander, third place Mike Bernardi. They are going head to head right now. In fourth, we have Ethan Tyler, who is a recent graduate from Princeton. So as I was saying, a lot of different age ranges on the field, but all of them have the passion for racing. And unfortunately, it looks like we still have Connor Miklos over there. I don't know if he's going to be able to start back up, but the race is still continuing on. He is in a safe enough position that race control has deemed he can stay there. The race can continue, but as we were saying, safety is of the utmost importance here at Autobahn, and if anything changes, the safety team will go out immediately. We are on top of that.
And that's what kind of Jeff Newman is hoping for with that incident. He wants to get back into that fight, so he's going to be banking for a caution to come out just so they can slow the field up and then we can be nose to tail so he can have another chance to make up some position. So right now, our top six are lapping relatively around the same time. Their best laps is 2:48.1 to a 2:48.3. So that's pretty impressive between first and sixth place. So they're definitely pushing right now. So hopefully their tires will be able to last until the end of the race. But we're almost halfway through this race. I'm pretty sure mindsets are about to change. So as a driver, going through your head, you're like, okay, I got 6-7 laps into my belt. There's about 14 left. I need to start making my moves. I need to start making a plan to get to where I want to be on the track. Whether it's making it to the next run group that are battling, or just if you're in the back of a battling group already, just trying to make your way to the front of that group.
And of course, we would like to give a huge thank you to the sponsors, Cutting Edge Graphics and First Bank Card Processing. We would not be able to race without our sponsors, so thank you so much, as well to Signature Production Group. I mean, look at this quality. We just give a huge thank you. I know I'm grateful to be able to commentate and watch this. It's really, really gracious. I'm thank you so much. And I know the racers are all feeling the same. We have the pack of three at the front, Taro, Matt, and Mike, and then the three behind them, Ethan, Billy Benning, Jake Malter. It's races within races. And one thing that's interesting to note is that it's not just about the endurance of the tires necessarily, it's also the endurance mentally, physically of the racers. Even though it's not that hot out, it gets really hot in those cars. It is pretty humid. I know I said earlier they might get a little sweaty. They're going to get really sweaty, and that can start to get to you. So we will see how these drivers, as they continue on, what their mental strategy is, how if their head stays in the game, how all of that goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing about endurance racing as well, is that it is a mental mind game because you're doing so many laps. It's very easy to get distracted and try to push a little bit more or not push enough, and where the car behind you can take advantage of that situation. So this is definitely 100% focus, 100% concentration. And we have actually Bob on screen as he's in the middle of the pack, and he's coming on the outside, taking the defensive line, and coming to the inside of turn 7 for south. Regains that position and keeps it. So hopefully he has the straight line speed to keep that position into the next turn. But yeah, shout out to Bob for his daughter's birthday was yesterday. His 8th. His two daughters, they turned 8 yesterday. But, I don't even remember what I did for my 8th birthday.
Yeah, oh my gosh. To imagine these people have been racing for so long in their life, starting out karting. We have the wonderful karting here at Autobahn that you can take a place of, and it's state of the art, of course. What else would you expect from Autobahn? And look at them. We have beautiful drone quality, the footage, everything. You can't get better racing than this. And it's really interesting. Oh, look at those lines. Bob. He keeps it. 808 keeps it. And we are going into the next corner. They are really close to each other with 5-1. Gavin, our 14-year-old, taking the lead there.
Yeah, Bob's definitely putting on a show for all his family and supporters for today. So hats off to you guys. And happy belated birthday as well, if I didn't say it. But how cool is it to watch your dad go Spec Miata racing the day after your birthday? That's a great birthday gift right there. So, Julia, I don't know about you, but like I was saying before, I don't even remember what I did for my 8th birthday. But definitely coming, if I had the chance to come watch my dad or watch somebody that I know come race cars, that would definitely be my highlight of my birthday.
That is absolutely for sure. Seeing a neck-and-neck battle right here. I mean, when I was 8, what was I doing? Playing with, like, Littlest Pet Shop or something? But then coming here, seeing this race, bumper to bumper, look at them go. And this beautiful drone footage. We want to give thank you to the people operating our drones, and everyone on the production team. Thank you so much. I mean, it's amazing to watch the race in any way you can, but to have the live stream like we do. So please, those watching on the live stream, like, comment, subscribe, anything. We are appreciative of all of that. And look at them go into the straightaway. This is one of the longest straightaways we have on our track, going from 10 to 11, and then corners 11 and 13. You really got to be careful. You can't brake too fast, too slow. Look at them go. Oh, holding their lines. They really are.
And a little update about the front of the field. Ethan Tyler has taken the lead and also went purple for the lap. So he has now held the fastest lap of the race with a 2:48.130, with Taro Kushida with a 2:48.143. So these guys are definitely neck to neck on times. And this top 3 battle is definitely getting very interesting.
But despite this battle, anything can still happen. We have 11 laps remaining. We still have a little bit more than halfway. There's already been so much action that started in this first half. So I still think it is anyone's game right now. And look at that beautiful drone footage over the starting line. Look at that going into turn 1. You got to be careful not to oversteer here because it's really easy to go off. But beautiful, beautiful from Ethan Tyler, Taro Kushida, Matt Alexander. But 08, he's pulling ahead. Good job there. Really neck and neck. And in 4th, we have Mike Bernardi. He's there. 5th and 6th, they're battling against, they're close to each other. Look at them go. Wow.
And as we are approaching the halfway mark, we're going to give you the top 10 standing. So right now, currently, Ethan Tyler is first place, followed by Taro Kushida, Matt Alexander, Mike Bernardi, Bill Benning, Jake Malter, Greg Soar, Scott Bowman, Scott Ballard, and Iman Ryan. And that rounds out your top 10 overall. Now, as we get halfway through, I'm pretty sure these drivers are actually feeling it now because they're not used to racing over 10 laps. So this is actually pretty long for them. So don't be surprised if you start seeing, a little bit more mishaps happen towards the later half of the race. But definitely going to be some great racing towards the tail end of the race.
And it looks like number 4, Kevin Lafrich, he really pulled ahead there going through the corners. Good job to him. But still, we are bumper to bumper. It looks like, heavy smoke. Okay. And we are 4 off, but it looks like going back on. Good job. Everything is all right. Controlled that. I could not see who that was, but they're going down the straightaway. They're battling. They're okay. Safe and sound.
Yeah, Kevin Lawridge actually braked a little bit early, and the car behind him wasn't expecting it, so he had to check up with the front right brake tire lock. So he wasn't able to get it stopped in time, so that's why he went 4 off. But he made it back on track and continuing, as he lost 2 positions, but at least he's still in the race. At least he didn't lose too much time. So now he just had to reacclimate himself and get back up there.
Exactly. Going back into the mental stamina and honestly not letting the little mishaps get to you. I don't know about you, but sometimes if I was, look at that battle. The 3 leaders, if I was in that position, I know the adrenaline. I don't think I'd be able to properly handle myself, control the car going off like that. So the fact that these racers are so skilled, they have put in so much time and effort, and we love that so many of their family members have come out to support them. When we had our race director, Mike Gritter, out there on the grid talking to all of them, the enthusiasm was there, and I feel it in the air. I feel it up here. You can see it on the track. I mean, it's great. Our 3 runners. Oh my gosh. 157. Oh, Matt Alexander. He is in the front of the pack, followed by Ethan Tyler and then Taro Kishida. Is that what it looks like? Oh, but it's the corners. It's the corners where you will get them. The straightaways, if we were in a GT race or a radical, that might be where we see they speed up against each other. But no, it's all about the corners here. Look, bumper to bumper. So close, but so steady.
So Matt Alexander is actually have 2 car fulls. Two cars in his mirror. So he has a lot of work to do right now. It's just to try to keep him behind. And look at Taro Kishida. Taro Kishida is definitely trying to keep Ethan Tyler behind him. Just trying to play offense and defense at the same time.
Swallow the microphone.
Okay, sorry.
Matt Alexander is still holding this position. But Taro Kishida gets a little inside look. Didn't make it stick, but just filling his mirrors up just to let him know that he's there. Taro Kishida thought about it for a little bit, but backed out. And as we approach the start-finish line, we are a little bit more than halfway done with this race. So we got 9 laps to go. And to remind you of the order, first place we have Matt Alexander. Second place, Taro Kishida. Third place, Ethan Tyler. Fourth place, Jake Malter. Fifth place, Mike Bernardi. Sixth place, Billy Benning. Seventh, Greg Sword. Eighth, Scott Bowman. Ninth, Scott Ballard. And 10th, Kevin Lawridge. So now I think a lot of these drivers, these mental states are starting to kick in. Let's see who can stay focused throughout this race and see who can capitalize on the other drivers' mistakes. But right now, these guys are doing really great to stay out of trouble. They're being respectful. The racecraft is there. We've seen a little bit lockups here and there, but that's expected when you get into racing. You know, you want to push the limits. You want to see what you can do. You want to see what the car can do. But you also want to predict. You know, try to set up where your places to pass at and where the weakness of the car in front of you or the car behind you is.
In a sense, it's almost like a game of chess. You have to think ahead a couple of moves while also staying in the present moment, while also quite literally looking at the cars behind you, how close they are to you. And it's really cool to see the craftsmanship like you were talking about. And this little battle we have here, number 1 pulling ahead. Good job to him. And what's really fascinating is that there are some rivalries between our top people. Matt Alexander, number 157, Taro Kishida, 60. They are wonderful friends in real life. However, when they are out on the track, they are in game mode. They are wanting to win. But then, once the race is over and the Festival of Speed has finished its wonderful day, they will go have a nice drink together at the clubhouse, and that's what makes Autobahn so special compared to other race tracks in a sense, because we're a big family here. We race against each other and we want to win, but we are family. Look at that. It's a little rivalry, but then in the end they always come back together as neck and neck family.
Yeah, I agree. During my small racing time that I've had in endurance racing, I can definitely attest to that. You know, you have your rivalries on track, and you know where you want to be. You want to be ahead of that person, of course. But you know, you got to run your race. You got to do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, you guys will always be best friends, and you will always have these memories forever, even when you're old. So that's the great part of racing. Like, you have that rivalry, but you also have that friendship and that sense of family that you can call in a sense. So with 8 laps to go, Taro Kishida actually was able to make a pass on Matt Alexander. So he is now your new race leader. Taro Kishida also put in the fastest lap of the 3 front runners so far. So currently he is lapping at a 2:49.3. Matt Alexander is a 2:50.3, and Ethan Tyler is 2:49.9. So these guys are definitely nose to tail each other, just feeding off of each other, just to filling each other out, seeing how these last couple laps are going to dwindle down. But definitely by 2-3 laps to go, these guys should be making their moves and trying to put a stamp on where their finish position gonna be. So going back to the endurance aspect of it, and a lot of the field is spread out now. One thing you have to worry about as these laps start to come down is back markers, the back of the field. When and where are we going to hit the backfield? That's what these leaders are probably worrying about. Like, hey, these laps are coming down. We're gonna have to start making our moves count and start using the traffic to our advantage. That's what a lot of people do in endurance racing. Once these front runners start getting to these back markers, they're going to start picking and choosing the places to pass and using those card placements to back up the people behind them or to take advantage of the car ahead. So it looks like Matt Alexander is trying to make a move on Taro Kishida, coming into turn 1 side by side.
Wow.
Matt Alexander looks like he has the line into turn 1, and he does. Good job, Matt.
when we were speaking, oh, look at them, so close together. When we were speaking with the drivers, Matt Alexander was saying that Taro is very calculated, very calm, cool, collected, while Taro was kind of saying that Matt Alexander, he is very collected, but also has that aggressive edge, which we saw there as he took the lead. But they are still bumper to bumper, second and third. Ethan Tyler, he's still one of our youngsters too, in his early 20s. I'm in my early 20s, and I'm not out there doing anything nearly as cool as this. This is, I mean, come on. They're family, friends. How could you not be so proud of what you're witnessing right now? It is really good, clean racing, although still 7 laps to go. Much can happen, as we've seen before.
And it looks like Matt Alexander actually has the pace. So either he has been tire managing, or he just got the run on Taro Kishida and just took away with it. So currently, Matt is about 3-4 tenths ahead of Taro Kishida and Ethan Tyler. So with the laps coming down, if I was Ethan Tyler, I would want to get a move on it. If I was Taro Kishida, I would just try to continue doing the best I can as much as possible, trying to stay close to Max, but try to keep Ethan behind me as well, because Ethan looking racy. He's looking racy, but he's being patient.
I love how we have the in-car camera here with Jake Malter. It's so cool to see, almost trying to envision what these races are seeing. But what I wish we could see as well was inside their head, what these drivers are thinking right now, what is possibly running through their head. Is it full of adrenaline, or are they completely focused, just trying to, as you were saying before, just trying to survive, to keep their position in these almost 7 laps, almost last 6 laps. Look at them go down the corner.
Yeah, if I was Matt Alexander right now, what's going through my head is, if I know I'm faster, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pushing as much as I can to at least create a gap and at least create a cushion of safety, just in case he does have an off, or he does have something that happens or run into lap traffic, that he doesn't lose too much time and he still can regain that position. Now, if I was Taro Kishida, I would definitely be focused more on the front than in the rear, only because I know Matt is a little bit faster, but I do have Ethan Tyler. But if we focus too much on our rear, then we're just gonna go backwards. And I'm pretty sure Ethan Tyler is focused right now. He wants to make as much progress as he can, but he's being patient about it. He's waiting until lap traffic, or he's waiting until these laps dwindle down, and then he's gonna make his move.
And as we look at this beautiful racing, we had that wonderful drone shot showing the whole track as well as the kart track. So if you have a desire to feel the need for speed a little bit, you can go on our wonderful kart track, as well as we have the Autobahn Driver Academy, the Toyota GR86. So you can talk to one of the instructors and learn about potentially renting one and also going vroom vroom on the track. I know I want to do that, but for now we are watching good, clean racing coming around corner 1 into 2, down to 3 and 4. We have some tiny battles. Is that 5-1-0 trying to pull ahead, but it looks like he's going to be on the outside corner. Oh, there was a cone that just got demolished. Got yeeted through the air, so to speak, but better that it was a cone than anything else, and the race is still going, so all is well. Yay.
So yeah, at least it was a cone and not anything else. That's the one thing about these Spec Miatas. These Spec Miatas can take a lot of abuse, so them hitting that cone probably didn't do much. But as we look further down the field, we have some nice battles developing, and they're still there actually, but they're broadening out. They're getting a little spaced out. So a lot of these drivers, their true position is where they are now. So as these laps start coming down, you'll definitely see a lot more passes and a lot more bold moves towards the end of the race, just like one right here coming into turn 11.
Neck and neck.
And they're nose to tail all the way through. And I think one person that we haven't mentioned today as much is Jake Malter. He's not in the top 3 group, but he's definitely holding his own. He's actually lapping a 2:48.9, and while the front brothers are doing 2:49s, he's doing 2:48, and almost an entire second faster. So definitely watch out for Jake, as he's going to try to close down that gap and get into that battle as well.
And I think he still has a shot for sure. 5 laps, a lot can happen in 5 laps, clearly. I mean, let's hope nothing happens like another cone getting yeeted in the field. More like some good racing. Look at them. We have, 427 and 27. They are so close. It looks like they're trying to do some drafting. 27 couldn't get ahead, though. That is okay. There is still so much time. It's beautiful shot, beautiful shot. Oh, look at that. Wow, coming down into the start straight away. And a little shout out to our starter, Chris, flagging. Beautiful job.
Oh, my apology. It was Mike Bernardi that is lapping faster than the cars ahead. So he's actually going to be on his way to that podium battle. And with 5 laps to go, these guys are going to be on go time. They're going to be pushing all the way to the line if they weren't before. And with a beautiful drone shot, it's so amazing to see when you get the overhead views, overhead shots of the track, and seeing all the different paint schemes, the cars just go around the track. It's very beautiful. It looks like more like a masterpiece, especially when we got a car all 4 off going into turn 11. Just lost a little time, but he's going to be able to regain it down into the braking zone if he brakes a little bit later. Do you have to remember, once you go 4 off, you have to take it easy for a couple of laps, as you still got those dirt and grime and the grass from the tires. So today, this is the best weather we've seen this entire week. A couple of days ago, we didn't had storms, tornadoes. We didn't had an earthquake last week. So we're getting all the elements this week. But today, the weather has been fantastic. 77 degrees, not too much wind. The clouds are actually playing a factor in cooling some parts of the track. So we've actually have the best weather for racing, and we actually had the best weather for the entire week. So the Spec Miatas being on track first and being able to take advantage of this weather is actually really great.
Oh, and we have a 4 off, but a quick one with a lot of dust that came up. But again, we just have to continue on, but they do have to take it a little bit slow before continuing. We are in lap 4, coming back up to the start. And like you were saying, with this beautiful weather, thank goodness we have this, because we did have some horrible storms. But look at them go. I'm sure it's not just the cars and drivers who are happy, but also all of the fans and spectators. Thank you so much. Shout out to all of the family members and friends who are out there right now supporting the people they love. To everyone on the live stream, thank you so much as well. And look at that. We we're coming really close to a close right now. We are so close. 4 laps remaining. We have a little bit of a battle between 808 and, I can't see between the trees there.
Looks like 69.
Yeah.
Looks like 808 and 69 are having a little battle of their own. They were able to break free from the other 2 cars that were behind them. So, yeah, these guys are definitely racing for these positions now. So, 4 laps to go. I'm pretty sure a lot of these drivers are tired, but they're still gonna push. They're still gonna make those passes. And they're side by side, and Bob was not able to keep his position. He's fallen back, coming into turn 10. Bob is slightly behind, but he still can use the draft to help him come back up and get that position back. And with 3 laps to go, that's still more than enough time for him to fight all his way back up and to grab that position back. So to remind you of the top 10 with 3 laps to go, we have Ethan Tyler, who is in first place. Second place, Taro Kashida, apologies. Third place, Matt Alexander. Fourth place, Mike Bernardi. Fifth place is Billy Benning. Sixth, Jake Malter. Seventh, Greg Sork. Eighth, Scott Bowman. Ninth, Connor Ryan. And 10th, Scott Ballard. So with 3 laps to go, I know these drivers are definitely going to be pushing all out and testing the limits of the drivers around them.
It really is. I'm holding my breath right now as we get into these last laps. They really are giving it their all, that's for sure, around turn 1 all. And it's unfortunate when we see our friends still off track, but in a safe position. That's all that matters. I'm sure my heart would be hurting a little bit if I was off to the side, not able to race. But it is, even though there's the rivalries, there's also the camaraderie, rooting on each other while still wanting to win, but rooting for each other. I know I'm rooting for everyone on the field. We've talked about Ethan Tyler and Taro and Matt Alexander, all of them, but every single driver here has put in so much time and effort, and that's all that matters. We appreciate that here so much at Autobahn. Thank you to these drivers for choosing to do this today, because they very well could have been doing something else, but they chose to race in top-level Spec Miata race.
Yeah, these drivers are definitely top class right now. It's kind of like watching the IMSA MX5 Cup race with the battles that's going on. And these guys, they've been so respectful for each other. They've been so fast. They've been picking and choosing their battles. They've been very calculate on what they do inside the car. Yeah, we had a couple of mishaps here and there, but that's what happens with racing. You want to push the edge, because if you're still going the same pace for a long time, you're not going to really get anywhere. Yes, endurance racing is about consistency, but this type of endurance racing, you have to take risks. And with 2 laps to go, a lot of these drivers are going to start taking those risks.
No, exactly. We have Ethan Tyler and Taro Kashida. They have a difference of 0.013 seconds. They are neck and neck, nose to tail, so close together. And every little decision matters. They really have to be thinking, have to be calculated, but also sometimes you make a split-second decision to do something else, and it's either a great choice or not so much. And we have 2 laps remaining. We are so close to the finish. My heart is beating very, very fast. Look at this beautiful shot. I mean, I couldn't have asked for any better race to start the day.
And it looks like Taro Kishida actually dropped down to third place. So he has a lot of work to do now. So we actually have Matt Alexander in first place.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Tyler. And then Taro Kishida. Taro Kishida. So 2 laps to go. Well, really a lap and a half to go. This is definitely getting very interesting. This is getting very interesting for the top 3 because they're nose to tail. They're copying each other moves. So it's about the risk taking. And look at this battle between Ethan Tyler and Taro Kishida.
They were centimeters apart, having to make the decision who goes into the corner more defensively or not. They are so close. That was exhilarating. And I know their hearts are probably beating so fast as well. Look at this. But the thing is, there are still 1.5 laps left. Anything can happen, as we saw with Matt Alexander pulling ahead. I'm wondering, will Taro Kishida, will he make some big move? What about Ethan Tyler? He is right in the middle there. He could be waiting for the last lap to make some crazy move. We will see. I still think it's anyone's battle in the lead, in the top 3 here, and all across the field there are amazing battles happening, good racing, beautiful day. Oh, and we have the white flag out. We have 1 lap to go. Now, I really think they're going to bring on the heat. If they weren't bringing on the heat before, they are really bringing it on right now. Look at them go around these corners. You kind of underestimate how fast they're going. They're getting up to 100 miles an hour. That's really fast. I haven't gone that fast, I don't think. Look at them taking the corners so outside in, outside. Love it.
And it looks like Ethan Tyler is actually taking the defensive line against Taro Kishida. And this is where you have to realize, like, hey, okay, it might be a little bit impossible for me to get to the car ahead, so I had to start thinking of being defensive and keeping my position as much as possible. But the way that these top 3 cars are nose to tail with each other, it's kind of impossible to do that because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if the car in front of you is going to brake a little later and lock up and mess up. You don't know if the car behind you is going to attack you into the next corner. So it's definitely a unknown at this point. But with a half lap to go, it looks like Matt Alexander has a very comfortable lead with just a couple of tenths. But Ethan Tyler isn't going to let that happen. And it looks like Taro Kishida is definitely fighting back, going into turn 11 of this track.
Oh.
And Taro cooks it. He goes 4 off. That's not what he was looking for.
That is exactly what can happen, what we were saying, how anything is possible in the last lap of the race. So he is in 3rd place now. He was able to hold his own. He's still doing well, but anything can happen. Still, anything is possible to happen. Jake Malter, he is wonderful in-car footage. You can see how much they're battling on the wheel. It's amazing.
So now Jake Malter is in the mix for the final podium position, and it looks like Matt Alexander has a good, clean way to the checker flag. He's at least a second ahead of Ethan Tyler, but coming very, very behind Taro Kishida is Jake Malter. And coming around the final corner, we got 2 corners to go. Last corner for Matt Alexander.
Down the straightaway.
He's coming down the straightaway. Can he keep it together? Will he run out of fuel in the last? No, he doesn't. And he takes the checker flag. Matt Alexander wins the Spec Miata Festival of Speed. 2nd place, we have Ethan Tyler. 3rd, Taro Kishida as they round out the podium spots.
that was an amazing last lap of the race for, wow, there is still some more action. We had 2 cars go, 4 off, drivers left, continuing on. I could not see which car those are, but they're continuing. Everything is all good. They are going to get to the checkered flag, maybe not get the exact time they wanted, but that is okay.
It looks like Gavin a little bit. I think it might be Gavin. But yeah, it looked like a little bit of contact. His front bumper, his front right is hanging down. So it was definitely some contact on that turn. And as the drivers come across the finish line, we will go over the finishing positions for you.
This was a wonderful race to start out the festival. Oh, yeah, you can see that front bumper. Pretty messed up. But that's what happens with racing sometime. And with the Spec Miatas, the Miatas aren't the most expensive car there is. So, you know, a bumper gets knocked off and you just gotta get yourself back up. And look at them go. We finished this race. Amazing job to all of the racers. That battle between Matt Alexander, Ethan Tyler, and Taro Kishida really got my heart beating. Unfortunate what happened with Taro at that turn 11 and 13, but he was still able to keep his own. I know that
we have another car going off or off.
It's as 20 laps is a lot. We are coming up on 1 hour of racing. This really is an endurance, a battle. They are still battling it out here. I mean, they just have to be careful as well.
And as we still wait for all the cars to come across the start-finish line, there's definitely still some battles that have been happening, even when the top 3 finishers cross the line. But to go through your top 10, we have Matt Alexander taking the win, Ethan Tyler coming up second, Taro Kishida rounds up the final podium position. In 4th place, we have Jake Malter. 5th, Mike Bernardi. 6th, Bill Benning. 7th, Scott Bowman. 8th, Scott Bollard. 9th, Luke Satterfield. And 10th, Bob.
And 10th, Bob Grozalak. So amazing racing then for the SM2 top 10. We have Connor Ryan in 1st place, Kevin Lowridge 2nd, 3rd is Eamon Ryan, 4th Emmett Ryan, 5th is Mark Sadalski, 6th Sean Benet, 7th Bruce Malter, 8th John Southard, 9 Mark Basso, and 10th Noel Sachs. So amazing job to not just the top 10, but to every single driver out there. Amazing racing. I loved watching this, and we still have 2 more races to go, my friends. So everyone in the paddock, everyone watching on the stream, we still have more good racing. So thank you all so much, and we will be back for the GT Challenge race at 4 p.m.
Defying nature. It's what defines the all-new 2024 Corvette E-Ray. The quickest Corvette ever, with 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. An electrified all-wheel drive that handles all 4 seasons. A supercar of contrasts. It's everything you never expected. One like none.
We're here at the acclaimed Daytona International Speedway to show the Blazer EVSS in a way it's never been seen. It's beautiful with a sleek and dynamic design, but performance is in our DNA. And what better way to put the Blazer EVSS to the paces than having Team Chevy NASCAR drivers Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain get behind the wheel.
She looks fast.
Sure does.
You want to see what she's got?
Let's go.
All right. Yoo!
This is a Blazer EVSS. Let's see what wild mode can do.
Let's go. Yes! So much torque.
This is what performance sounds like.
What a ride. You think the Cup car will be that smooth? My turn to drive.
From 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Experience the sound of performance.
Yeah, I was definitely faster than Daniel.
In motorsports, a driver has to be at peak performance the moment they put on their helmet. There's no compromises, no room for error, and definitely no excuses. That's why Autobahn is excited to announce our latest series called Time Attack. On Sundays of festival weekends, members are invited to bring their street legal, unmodified cars to compete for timed laps around our 3.5-mile road course. What is Time Attack? It's a single car, one lap test of a driver's ability to push their vehicle to the absolute limits against the clock in order to achieve the fastest lap possible. We have two classes, cars under 300 horsepower and over 300 horsepower. But it's not just about raw power, it's the combination of driver skill and performance. That's it. You need to lay it all on the line for that one perfect lap. Can you perform under that pressure? Do you have what it takes to become Autobahn's first Time Attack champion?
At Lexus, our motto is you have to feel it to believe it. Experience the exhilaration of the Lexus Performance line.
Welcome to Kart Circuit Autobahn, home of the best arrive and drive karting in the Chicagoland area. This is our brand new fleet of CRG Centurion rental karts that go 50 miles an hour. They're fast, fun, and safe. They are also built for the driver that has the need for speed. Come on out and show us what you got.
Hi, this is Spencer McFarland up here on the patio, and today we got a couple of interviews for you first. First off, we have famous TikToker Nicholas Crown. Now, Mr. Crown, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Spencer, you put on a great show here. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. What do you think about these racing today?
Look, anything can happen with Spec Miatas. I think we saw a dogfight with the first three. Man, it was fantastic to watch them the whole time. We got some guys going off the track. I mean, it was an eventful day. great day for racing. You know, a little hot here, but you put on some sunscreen. You know, better out here than in the race car.
For real. When can we see you out on the track?
I will be getting my amateur license, next week here at Audubon. So I don't know, as soon as possible. As soon as I'm sticking with karts right now and doing my C run, so hopefully pretty soon.
Last question for you. When can we expect a rich versus really rich TikTok out here at Audubon?
Oh, man. Listen, I love cars. I love car content. I love racing. I love Audubon. So I think you might be seeing something fun come out pretty soon.
Can't wait for it. Can't wait. Next up for you, we got Miss Gleitzman. Now, Miss Gleitzman, what's it like having your son driving out here when he doesn't even have a license?
Well, it's been interesting for sure. I mean, he has such a calm disposition. It's like he wouldn't rather be anyplace else than in a race car. So, you know, he never complains, and it's just this is where he wants to be, and I just try to support him the best I can by getting him here. But it is a little funny having to drive the race car driver to the racetrack. He's got 2 more years before he can drive himself. So yeah. Hopefully he'll continue to progress, and we're thankful to Advanced Auto Sports for helping us, and Food and Fuel and Gas and Wash, and yeah.
Any nerves for Mom?
Yes, I definitely feel the heart rate raising, at the start of the race and in the middle, and then it slows down a little bit at the end. So.
Are there more nerves in the cart or on the car?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question. They're both. There's a lot of nerves for both. I feel a little bit better that he's got a seatbelt and he's strapped in and a roof over his head. But at the start of the races, I'm definitely, my heart's pounding, for sure. And he says his heart does not race at all. And I'm like, well, mine must be racing for both of us because, yeah, so he's calm and cool as a cucumber in that race car, but Mom isn't always as calm.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Mr. Jason here. Now, Mr. Jason is a spotter, so tell me, what's that entail?
Well, more parenting than spotting. So my son, Ethan, was in the race and had a great race. So I don't tell him a lot of what's going on other than if I see a yellow or an incident in front of him. There was a car off, and so I'm always trying to make sure he knows if there's something he needs to be aware of coming up. But otherwise, I'm just encouraging him and telling him he's doing a great job and telling him how many laps are left and enjoying the race together.
Does he have any moments where he's like, okay, you can calm down the talking a little bit?
Now, we've been racing together since he was 8, and so it's a great time for us to be able to come out and do this. So we've had a lot of these experiences. So both of us have a lot more fun just talking to each other on the radio and after the race about what's going on. So we enjoy it a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we've got a run-of-the-mill spectator. How's it going?
How are you doing?
What's your name?
My name's Noah.
Noah, what'd you think of the racing today?
It was pretty exciting. It's my first Spec Miata race, so it's super cool to see that. Glad most people had a good race. I think we had one DNF, but that's racing, and hopefully the top 3 can be happy with their results. I know they had some great battles there at the end of the race, so super cool for us to see, and hope they enjoyed it as well.
Next question for you. What's your favorite livery out on track?
Oh, I think number 4 had a pretty clean livery, and yeah, if I had to go with one, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now we're going to send it right back up to the tower. Thank you guys for watching.
Alrighty, and now we are into the GT Challenge race. This is one pace lap, and then we will get into so the top 5. We have GT1 with Tom Herb, GT2, Brett Scroggin, and he will have our in-car cameras, so be sure to watch for that. GT3 is Ron Rashinsky, GT4, Sean V, and GT5, Andrew T. So this will be a very interesting race, I think, and Shelton will tell us a little bit more about what makes GT racing different from Spec Miata racing, because there are a few distinct differences.
Thank you, Julia. So it's a lot. It's it's a little bit more different than Spec Miata. So the GT Challenge, you have your GT cars. So you have your Porsches, your Ferraris, your BMWs, your McLarens, your you have your BMW, McLarens, your Porsches, your Audis. You have those range of cars, and the beauty of it is that they have their distinct differences from each other. Like Porsches are usually good in a straight line and good in the corners. Like Corvettes are usually good in a straight line and maybe kind of iffy in the corners. Then you have the BMWs that are just good in a straight line. So you have multi-class racing for one, and then you have the difference between the cars too. So you have to play the strengths to your strengths, and you have to play your weakness to, kind of use the weakness to shelter it just a little bit, just to let everyone know that, hey, I'm not weak in this certain part of the track. But once the racing gets going, it becomes prominent of what your strengths and weaknesses are. But the beauty about GT racing is the multi-class of it and the difference of the cars. So as I want to thank the beautiful drone shot as we get these cars weaving back and forth, coming to the transition between north and south. And it's, like I said, it's once you get these overhead views or these drone shots where you're just really up close to the cars, especially on the formation lap, and you've seen these drivers warm up their tires, warm up their brakes, it's just really beautiful, especially with all the color schemes and the lighting in the background too. It just makes everything just beautiful, and that's the beauty aspect of racing, and that's what everyone loves. Everyone loves the sights and sounds of the GT cars with the different engines, but you just have to take admiration of the view that you have with all these cars together. So as these drivers starting to form up 2 by 2 on this racetrack, they're going to start to slow down and let the pace car get a little bit ahead, just so they can get some distance between the pace car and the start line.
We are coming around the final corner now, going into the straightaway of the start. Hopefully we are going to get, oh, look at this drone shot of the start of the race. Oh my goodness. Boogity boogity boo. Let's go racing, boys. All right. Look at this go. So we have, we already have a quick 4 off drivers left, but continuing on, we have Tom Herb in first place. It looks like the battlefield is already spreading out a little bit with 4 people in the lead, a little bit in the middle. Gosh, that was a very fast and fun start.
Yeah, now it's John Ranty getting a little bit out of the shape going into turn 1, but he's definitely recovered that car very well. Looks like he just missed his braking zone just a little bit, but on cold tires, cold brakes, a little bit can be a lot. So he's definitely going to be looking to make up a couple of places at the start of this race. But in the car, we have Brett Scroggin. And he's just being nose to tail with Tom Herb, just trying to keep the distance. And like I said, it's a lot of these cars that has strengths and weaknesses. And right now, Tom Herb is in the Porsche, and Brett is in the BMW. 2 really great GT cars to have. The Porsche definitely great in the straight line and in the corners. BMW excellent in the straight lines. And it's a little bit, even though the BMW is a little bit heavier, it can still maintain and hold its own in the corners. Just not as good as the rear engine Porsches. And that's the beauty about the GT classes too. And the different classes that we have is GT1 is the fastest GT car there is. Then it goes down from that to GT2 to GT3 and all the way to GT5. And you actually see a couple of Miata out there. I'm pretty sure that's a GT5 Miata holding its own out there. It's not too many of those you see every day, but that Miata is definitely moving.
and you can see how fast they are going in the corners, going from 60 miles an hour all the way then to 120, 130 miles an hour. They are zooming for sure. And that is where I will take a quick second to thank one of our sponsors, the billboard you can see at South Turn 1. They, BMW Cherville and South Shore Jaguar Land Rover, thank you to them for sponsoring those billboards. You guys too could put up something on the billboard. We have 2 spots left, and look at them coming around the corner. A beautiful, beautiful shot. They really are so close to each other.
Yeah, they're close, but maintaining their distance. They're not as close as the Spec Miatas because these GT cars, they have a lot of aero. They don't have a lot of aero benefits, but they do have more aero benefits than the Spec Miata. So they're gonna want to, maximize their aero benefits. But once you start getting closer and closer to the car ahead, those aerodynamic benefits just isn't there anymore. So you definitely have to brake a little bit earlier, be a little bit easier on turn ins and being easy on the accelerator coming out of corners. So this is where a lot of the strategy does have to come into play too, whether you have to continue pushing and if you have the speed to get by quickly, or if you can just play it safe and comfortable being in the draft and having that no benefit of the aero.
And the field is actually very spread out. And unlike our former Spec Miata race, this race is only 10 laps. So there is definitely not as much room for error. You really need to be calculated with every single decision you are making. If you want to go into the corners super fast, how you are braking, when you are braking. We have Tom Herb and Brett Scroggin really, really far ahead of the pack. But everyone is holding their own.
Now, one thing I would like to add is that Tom Herb is actually in the GT1 class and Brett is in GT2, but they're both lapping around the same times. Brett is actually 2/10 slower than Tom, so even though there's a difference in the classes, they're still very close together in performance, and it just shows on the racetrack how the strength and weaknesses plays into these car variations. And Brett is definitely doing a good job to keep Tom Herb in his view.
And up here in the north control tower, we can see the cars coming down the start straightaway. It is, and hearing them, I'm just in awe right now. We have Tom Erb still in first, then Brett Scroggin in second, Chris Hutter and Britt Casey and Ernesta Pozelis. They are all fighting third, fourth, and fifth. They really are so close yet so far to each other, but we still have 8 laps to go. So much can happen in these 8 laps, and I'm just like, okay. And we have this is A1, who is Chris Hutter, went off driver's right, 4 off clearly, but he continued on. He's going to have to go a little bit slower now, but he held his own. He's doing good. He went back to, is it 5th place he's in? He can come back. I think he can. I believe in him.
Yeah, Chris was sitting P3, and it was with that little off that he had, it dropped him down to P5. So he has a lot of work to do now with just 8 laps to go. Now, one person I would like to give a shout out to is Marab Dabu. This is Marab's second race in the GT Challenge, and currently he is sitting. Currently, he's sitting last place, 17th, but just remember, this is his second race that he's ever done in Autobahn. So he has a lot of work that he has to do, but what better way to get that experience is on the racetrack and actually racing. So he experienced a race start. He experiencing green flag conditions, and all he just has to do is just keep improving on his racecraft and experience, and it will definitely come to him later on during the year.
And that's what's so great about Autobahn here is that, of course, we have seasoned professionals, people who are coming out and racing on the track every single day, practicing, but you really can, like you were saying, this is his second race ever with the GT series, and he is holding his own. Practice makes perfect. But now, when we are looking at our positions, Tom Herb still in first, Brett Scroggin in second, Britt Casey in third. They really are, I don't know, they're battling, but it looks like they're gonna kind of stay where they are. I don't know, but we still have 7. Oh, okay, that was close. You see how fast they take these corners? It almost looks like they might drift off a little bit, but they are staying on track. It looks like there is a lot of debris on track, probably when from Chris Hutter went off track, unfortunately. So they have to account for that, but they are doing well so far.
One thing I like to point out is Brett is actually within a tenth of Tom Herb's last lap times. So currently, Brett's last lap time was a 2:26.859, and Tom Herb was 2:26.829. So even though the gap is about 1.5 second difference, he's still being able to keep up with Tom Herb. And now we're in car with Brett, and as you see, he's taking his time, he's keeping his distance, just so he can keep that aero benefit on his car. And even though it's a difference in class, he's still able to keep that lap time and keep the gap pretty relatively close to Tom Herb. So honestly, Brett is doing really great with what what he has, and he's working with it really well. And coming to the line with 6 laps to go, we have Tom Herb, Brett Scroggin, and Britt Casey in the top 3 positions. You want to shout out the Driver Academy?
Of course, as they race, once again, we do want to give a shout out to the Autobahn Driver Academy, where they have the Toyota GR86, a very fast car. Perhaps not as fast as some of the GT1 class, but still very, very fast. So you can talk to our Driver Academy instructors to learn more about renting one of our 3 GR86s, and look at them go around corner 1. It's a long, big corner, and then they go into 3 and then into 4. Wow, the field is pretty spread out. We have huge differences in time from our first position, Tom Herb, to second. There's a difference of 2.3 seconds, but then from second to third, it's 22 seconds. So really, we are in car with Bet Scroggin. You can really hear how fast he is going. I can imagine his heart is pumping a mile a minute.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these in-car cameras and these in-car views, is that you can kind of see what the driver is doing, and you can hear the engine, just how quick he's downshifting into the corners. You know, you have to take your time when downshifting, because if you downshift too quick, you have the possibility of locking up the tires and over-revving the engine, for one. But you know, you get to hear the beautiful engine sounds of these race cars, and that's like I said, that's the beauty of these GT cars. The different sounds of the engines and the different tones. It just makes racing wonderful. Brett Scroggin is still keeping that distance, 2.3 seconds away from Tom Herb, and I think it's more. I think Tom Herb is getting more of a realization that he needs to get a move on now. He knows Brett is behind him, and he's going to capitalize on his mistake if he makes one. And Brett's just sitting there, being close, being patient, and just waiting for his right time to attack. And then we have a battle further downfield between a BMW and a Porsche. And it's between Valdez G and Ernestus. So Ernestus was able to pull out a little bit of a gap coming into the start-finish straight with 5 laps to go. And what does Valdez G had to do? Valdez G just has to recover from that pass and just, stay close to him, be positive in this situation, and hope that Ernestus can make a mistake, or he can just just push him a little bit and force a mistake onto him.
And we are already halfway through the race already. I can't believe that. They are going so fast. Really, I mean, Spec Miatas, they are so close, but then we see that battle between 338 Ernestus and 24 Valdez. They are nose to tail. They are very close. But Tom Herb, he has pulled ahead quite far, although Brett Scroggin 3 seconds behind. He could still make it. And there are battles all throughout the field. They are zooming right now. Look at them. Coming around the corner here. So close. I feel like number 2 for Valdez, he's just waiting for his right moment to attack. You have to be calculated with this. You can't just make a split-second decision. We'll see what happens down the longest straightaway we have on the track between 10 and 11. Coming into 13, you have to brake pretty hard, but they kept it good and clean. Very good.
And Valdez G is definitely continuing this battle onto Ernestus, and he's still very close to his car. He's actually closest he has been this lap. So he might be making a move coming in the next couple of corners. Definitely, with the BMW having that straight line advantage, being in the draft of the Porsche is definitely an advantage for him as he's getting really close and just stays right behind him. He's going to probably set him up coming into the next corner. He takes a little peek on the outside of the corner, and Ernestus cuts him off. Coming into the final 2 corners of this lap. Valdez looks for a little bit of an inside run just to give Ernestus a little show that, hey, I'm here. But Ernestus said, nope, I'm not going to let you through.
And I feel like this is as much of a skill and technical this is, it's also a bit of a mind game as well. I can't imagine when I'm on the highway and someone is right behind my butt and they are going so fast. This is what it's like. And we have Brett Scroggin in car. He's doing amazing.
So Tom Herb is actually... So Tom Herb is actually pulling out a gap onto Brett, and the gap right now is 3.7 seconds between Tom and Brett. So Tom has definitely found the pace that he needs to keep his race alive and to keep that win alive, and Brett's probably just going to hold on and just play it safe for the next couple of laps as we get approaching with 4 laps to go. And we have a good battle further. We got a little contact. Contact between the 2 Porsches. And it looks like 81 of Chris Hutter, and the 23 of Sean V. He's just a little coming together. And that's not anything unusual in the GT class. It's just have a little love tap, a little bump, just to let the other person know, hey, I'm here. Just.
Although I'm sure those drivers aren't too happy about that, not just for their lap times, but also these cars are rather expensive cars, so we want to minimize any damage possible. I'm surprised we had that little love tap, as you put it, here and not as much in the Spec Miata race, but you never know what you're going to get with racing, and that's what makes it so exciting, so exhilarating. We have 3 laps left. We are so close to the finish line already, and there's still the battle right now between, it looks like we have
the camera then cut away from it.
338 Ernestus and 24 Valdez. They're still battling. Tom Herb he's still pulled ahead, and the difference between number 1 position and P3, Britt Casey, 41.09 seconds. That is a lot. That just goes to show how every single minute decision matters here. And beautiful shots. The sun is shining with some clouds. I'm sure the racers are having the time of their lives. And everyone outside watching, shout out to you guys. Ooh, it looks like 2-4. He took the corner a little bit wide, but he's holding his own there. Look at them. Oh my God, he's trying to make a move on the inside.
And he's got it.
Yes, and is he going to keep it through 8 and into? No. Oh, 338 is battling against 2-4. He's got the inside corner here, but 2-4, down the straightaway. Number 338 Ernestus. It looks like he's pulling ahead just a little bit. This is where speed of the car really comes into factor. Something you wouldn't see with Spec Miata, but we definitely see here.
Yeah, they got a little argy bargy coming into South 6 and 7, and Valdez G, he was just showing his nose just a little bit, just to assert his dominance into the corner, just to set himself up for the next couple of corners. But Ernestus, he was able to read it very well, and he actually got a great run off of turn 10 going into the north-south transition.
And that's just what I love about these races. You see battles all throughout, like we were saying with 338 and 2-4, but there's battles in the back. It's like 2 against 2. It's wonderful racing. We have 2 laps left, not even. We really are coming to a close. Tom Herb has pulled ahead so much. Kudos to him. Amazing job. We kicked up a little bit of dust on the track. It's really easy for these cars to go off one, but they're holding their own.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of cars just take a little bit too much of exit curb onto South 7, and that's not uncommon. But remember, when you in these cars, and these tires get up to temperature, you don't want to do that, because then you're going to hurt your chances of getting the perfect amount of grip going into the next corner. So hopefully he doesn't have to back off just a lot, but just a little bit, but still keep him in the fight. But with 2 laps remaining, we have Tom Herb in P1. Brett in P2, Britt Casey Sr. in P3, Ernestus in P4, and Valdez G in P5. And it looks like Brett and Tom are actually come up to lap traffic.
This in-car footage is incredible. You really see how fast they are going, how they are taking these turns. I literally feel like I am in the car with them. Look at Brett Scroggin, thank you so much for agreeing to be the in-car camera. Look at how fast they are going. And we are white flag. We are on to the final lap. He has lapped people. Tom Herb has lapped people. 1 lap remaining. We will see if there are any new developments, if they all keep their position, what's going to happen. It's really going to be a matter of just trying to get the fastest lap they can, really.
Now, Brett was able to drop that gap between Tom for 3 seconds to 1.8. So he actually used the traffic that Tom had to get around to his advantage, and Brett was actually able to get past that lap traffic without any problems. So as they're approaching more lap traffic, this race could be very interesting. It could be very, very close at the end. And as we're in car with Brett, you see he's got the lap traffic in front of him. Is he able to dispose of him quickly? Yes, he is. His eyes locked on Tom Herb. And Tom Herb still has about 1 more car to get past before he can say that he's home free.
In a sense, this almost reminds me of Mario Kart when you're playing with, oh, look at that. They're going around the slap traffic when you're going so fast and you're like Koopa Troopa going around. That's what I feel like right now watching this. And going into corner 11 and 13. Ooh. Oh, he's so close, just waiting for the moment, maybe. But Tom Herb, he might be home free. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, with only a couple of corners left, Tom Herb looks to be clear of lap traffic now. But definitely, Brett is definitely hoping for at least somebody, or anything to stop Tom from winning this race. And with 3 corners to go, Tom Herb looks like he has a comfortable lead, but Brett is not gonna let that have it. And as they come around the next 2 corners, can Tom keep it together on the straight? Does he have the straight line speed? Yes, he does. He has a good exit. And Tom Herb is your winner for today's GT Challenge Festival Speed Race.
Look at Chris with those checkered flags out there. We have Tom Herb in first, Brett Scroggin in second. Thank you for the in-car camera. Third is Britt Casey Sr. Fourth is 338 Ernestas against 524 Vladis. They really, really battled it out.
Yeah, Nestus and Valdez G were definitely fighting tooth and nail in the last couple of laps just to make sure they get into that podium position for the GT2 class.
It actually looks like now that, yes, we had Tom Herb in first for GT2, Brett Scroggin, but for GT3, Valdez G held his own, and for GT4, it was Sean V, and finally for GT5, Andrew T. So amazing job to all of these drivers. I am impressed with how fast that went. When we were looking with the in-car footage, I mean 130 miles an hour, but they were staying as safe as they could. That was clean, good racing. And you can see our safety team is out there to the right, ready to go if anything does happen. But it's a beautiful day, beautiful race, amazing job to everyone out there. I'm sure all the families and friends are happy. I know I am. And what's coming up next after this is the Wings and Things Radical Race.
We're here at the acclaimed Daytona International Speedway to show the Blazer EVSS in a way it's never been seen. It's beautiful with a sleek and dynamic design, but performance is in our DNA. And what better way to put the Blazer EVSS to the paces than having Team Chevy NASCAR drivers Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain get behind the wheel.
She looks fast.
Sure does.
You want to see what she's got?
Let's go.
All right. Yoo-hoo!
This is a Blazer EV SS. Let's see what Wild Mode can do.
Let's go. Yes! So much torque.
This is what performance sounds like.
What a ride! You think the Cup car will be that smooth? My turn to drive.
From 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Experience the sound of performance.
Yeah, I was definitely faster than Daniel.
In motorsports, a driver has to be at peak performance the moment they put on their helmet. There's no compromises, no room for error, and definitely no excuses. That's why Autobahn is excited to announce our latest series called Time Attack. On Sundays of festival weekends, members are invited to bring their street legal, unmodified cars to compete for timed laps around our 3.5-mile road course. What is Time Attack? It's a single car, one-lap test of a driver's ability to push their vehicle to the absolute limits against the clock in order to achieve the fastest lap possible. We have 2 classes, cars under 300 horsepower and over 300 horsepower. But it's not just about raw power, it's the combination of driver skill and performance. That's it. You need to lay it all on the line for that one perfect lap. Can you perform under that pressure? Do you have what it takes to become Autobahn's first Time Attack champion?
At Lexus, our motto is you have to feel it to believe it. Experience the exhilaration of the Lexus Performance line.
Welcome to Kart Circuit Autobahn, home of the best arrive and drive karting in the Chicagoland area. This is our brand new fleet of CRG Centurion rental karts that go 50 miles an hour. They're fast, fun, and safe. They are also built for the driver that has the need for speed. Come on out and show us what you got.
Define nature. It's what defines the all-new 2024 Corvette E-Ray. The quickest Corvette ever, with 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. An electrified all-wheel drive that handles all 4 seasons. A supercar of contrasts. It's everything you never expected. One like none.
Hi, Spencer McFarland for you. Today we are out here by the Dallara tent, one of the many things Autobahn has to offer this weekend in the Festival of Speed. Right now we actually have Tiffany here at Dallara. Now can you tell us what's this all about?
Hi, thank you. Dallara, this is our ultimate track toy. So it only weighs 1,900 pounds, 500 horsepower. We do have like a great downforce on the car, 2,700 pounds of it.
And how could someone like me get in one of these cars?
Well, we have here College Dallara is one of our official distributor of the car. So please just let us know. We're here all weekend. So we're going to be here tonight as well. So
Might have to take you up on that one. These look really fun to drive, and it seems like it would be a blast. Next up, over here, we actually have a couple of our Academy cars, another thing Autobahn has to offer. We would take you out on these, and you'd learn how to drive out here on our massive track. It seems a lot of fun. Got a couple GR86s, some Miatas. Seems like a blast. We could ask these couple people over here if they want to. Hi, Spencer McFarland out here interviewing a couple people. What do you guys think about these Driver Academy cars?
They're pretty cool.
Would you ever want to go out in one?
No.
No, why's that?
Because I raced in the Miata series already.
That's pretty fair. Did you race out today?
I did, yes.
How was it? What was it like?
It was long, and it was a hot day, but overall, it was a good race. It was fun. From what I saw, it was clean, but I think there was some other stuff going on, so we'll see what comes out of the driver's review, but it was good. It was a fun race.
Awesome, awesome. If you look behind, we got the couple radicals going by. Yeah, it's been a very, very entertaining day here at Autobahn. Awesome. Now we're going to send it right back up to you guys at the tower.
Alrighty, well, we can look out into the paddock, and we see later after the races today, we will be having a wonderful concert, which I say all of you should come and see. I know I am excited for it, and that's what Autobahn and Festival of Speed is all about. We have races, we have music, we have food, and most importantly, we have amazing people. So thank you all again for coming out and racing and watching this and supporting. And it looks like cars will be out on track very, very soon. This is the Wings and Things and Radical race. So we have 9 cars in total out there, ranging from Radical SR3s to... Wings and Things and Radical SR3s. My bad. And over here, we see the Dallara car, which, as they were talking about before, you could potentially go out and drive it and purchase it if you have the means of doing so. Hopefully one day I will be in a position to purchase that car. That day is not today, but a girl can dream, and I will dream. And it looks like our beautiful pace car is getting ready to go out. Thank you to Grace, who is on grid out there, making sure all of the radicals and cars are in their perfect position to go out and to be safe. We have, it looks like, different team members finishing up the last parts of the cars. This is shaping up to be a great race. It's 10 laps. It's going to go by even quicker than the GT race when, I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm feeling good.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited for this race to get started. This is the Wings and Things race. This is the fastest cars at Autobahn. So definitely get ready to see some fast lap times and some great racing as well. Undisputed.
And it looks like our pace car is out, and we have John Stafford. He is in P1, and then Nico Karavides in P2, Mike D'Ambrose in 3, John Zhu in 4, Andrew Marks in 5, John Mikulski 6, Alone Kim in 7, Kevin Lowridge 8, and Bob Perry 9. So you can see them. They're going slow right now, but do not be deceived. They are going to go faster than you could probably ever imagine. And the sounds of these things are beautiful. I actually do some corner working here, and the Radicals are always my favorite when they come out. The sound is exhilarating. So they're finishing up this first and only pace lap, and then Chris, our starter, will say green flag, and we will get to our final race of Saturday of Autobahn's 20th Festival of Speed. I know I have been having a wonderful time. I hope you all have been too. This is our last race. We really gotta get enthusiasm here. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. Also, the liveries on these cars are beautiful. I love the colors.
Yes, we got a lot of different liveries, a lot of distinct liveries too. So one thing I would like to point out before we get this race started is we have the Wings and Things race, but we have 3 different types of Wings and Things. So with Nico and John Stafford starting first and second, they are running the Wolf cars. So the Wolf cars are same horsepower as the Radical, but they're a lot lighter and a lot lower to the ground, so the center of gravity is a lot lower, so these guys are able to get a little bit more out of that car compared to the Radicals. Now the Radicals 1340s, they're great cars to drive, very great cars, and you will definitely see a lot of close racing between these guys and the Radical SR3s, as well as there's one lone Formula car out there too, so don't be surprised, even though it's a Formula car and it's sitting, the second to last on the grid, it's definitely still a quick car, and it has its advantages and disadvantages as well as the Radical compared to the Wolf, but it will definitely promote some good racing between the 3 different manufacturers, and you will definitely see these lap times just dwindle down as soon as the race goes on.
And you mentioned the center of gravity with these cars. That's actually a very interesting thing, because we can look at our Lexus pace car, beautiful, compared to these Radicals and Wings and Things. They're so low to the ground. The way they're going to be able to take these corners is very similar to Formula One and such. They are going to be at such high speeds. I'm honestly not even sure how fast these cars get, but look at that. Beautiful fleet. We are coming around corner 17. We are going to be going into 19 very soon. The start straight away. I know Chris on our starter strand, he is getting pumped up. He's getting ready to wave those checkered flags. The pace car is off of they are going away, and let's go soon, in a second. Oh, look at that. Let's go racing, boys. Boogity, boogity, boogoo. Look at them go.
And green flag goes to the Radicals as well. So separate start between the Wolves and the Radicals. So it's going to be a head-to-head battle between Nico Karavides and John Stafford in the Wolf. But Mike D'Ambrose has a great start and pulls out a 2-second lead. And we just got some smoke off of Kevin Lowridge's car. Hopefully it's not too serious. But it looks like he's continuing. No more problems. but Mike has definitely been able to put on a gap in the first couple of corners. And John Zhu right behind, followed by Andrew Marks, John Mikulski, Alon Kim, Kevin Lawrich, Bob Perry, and Daryl Drake.
We don't have an in-car camera for these vehicles because, well, that in-car camera would probably become an outside car camera because these cars are open. That would not be good. So we can't really see how fast they're going necessarily, but I'm gonna say they're probably getting up to 130, 140, maybe even 150 miles an hour down this straightaway, specifically from 10 to 11. This is the longest straightaway we have. This is where they're gonna try and be drafting a little bit or going next to each other. We will see. And like I said before, this race only 10 laps as well, so it's gonna be quick.
Yeah, and to get on the top speed of these cars, the Wolves are actually going to be pulling about 150, 160 by the end of the straight, while the Radicals are about to do 140, almost close to 150 at times, depending on if you're in a draft or not. But these cars low to the ground, these guys are pretty much the grip hunters, the grip runners of the Autobahn Country Club. And it's going to show in this race. As you see, you have Nico Karavitas still P1, and John Stafford is second. And as we go over to Mike D'Ambrose and John Zhu is a little bit closer than he was at the start of the lap. But at the end of the lap, he's right there within reach. And John Stafford is actually P1 with Nico Karavitas in P2. And as they come around onto South 1, these guys are nose to tail, running the same lap time pretty much. And Mike D'Ambrose and John Zhu are definitely in a league of their own. And it looks like Kevin Lawridge is actually throwing fluid out on his car in the corners. Not sure what that's all about, but hopefully we can get a resolution on that soon.
And even though it is not the hottest day we have had, right now it's about 79, 80 degrees plus humidity. The sun beating down on the track. It is hot. The track is very hot. So seeing a little bit, it makes sense that there might be some things coming from the car as they get so hot. It looks like, however, we do have a car that is slowing down out there. Don't know what that's about. All of these guys going very... See, we got good racing. Corner 11 and 13, they're doing okay. I'm not sure what straightaway that was on, but we're doing fine. Look at them going head-to-head. John Stafford and Nico Karavitas, they are fast as lightning. Mike D'Ambrose, 6-0. I have seen him practicing out on the track all the time. Very, very good. All of these guys are so experienced.
Daryl Drake is off. Yeah, Daryl Drake is off. He looks like he has a problem. Yeah, he pulled off, and I think he's gonna park it for the day. It's unfortunate for Daryl. He was running so well. Even though he started last, he was still close to the pack, and he had a chance to make up positions. But with that pull off, hopefully his car is all right and everything's okay. Hopefully he can get back racing. But going back to the front of the field, we have John Stafford still in first and Nico Karavitas in second. And they're in a league of their own right now, with Nico Karavitas actually lapping a 10th quicker than John Stafford with a 2:20.6, and John is doing a 2:20.7. So they're going to be running around the same lap time, and honestly, I think it's just going to be the advantage of... Oh, it's full course yellow.
We are full course yellow right now. That is probably because of the car that is pulled off of the track, so that means they have to slow down. They cannot pass each other. They must significantly reduce their speed. That's because we need, like I was saying before, Autobahn relies totally on safety. That is what we pride ourselves on. You shouldn't necessarily be passing under full course yellow, but that's okay. These guys know what they're doing. And hopefully we are going to get our safety team out there and resolve any issue right now.
Yep, as soon as that yellow flag comes out, no passing is permitted. So if you're in the middle of a pass, you definitely have to back out of that as soon as you see that yellow flag and go back to your positions and just slow your speed down for the safety of the crew and the safety of the driver who was stopped on track as well. So with that being said, with the full course yellow coming for the next lap, we have John Stafford in P1, Nico Karavidas in P2, and Mike D'Ambrose is P3 to round out the overall class. Now, for the Radicals, Mike D'Ambrose is currently sitting P1, John Zhu is P2, and Andrew Mark takes on the final podium park for P3. So, we actually have word from race control that Kevin Lawridge is receiving a mechanical flag for spilling fuel. Maybe that's what we've been seeing coming out of his car, you know, at the corners. So you don't want to be losing fuel while you're racing, especially in these Radicals. They do not have any indicator of fuel. So whatever fuel that you put in there, that's the fuel that you put in there. You don't know what you have while you're racing. So hopefully he has enough fuel to go to the end of this race.
And it can also be dangerous with the speeds these cars are going at. If the track gets wet in any way, unexpected, then it's possible they could slip and slide. So unfortunately, Kevin Lafridge, he's got that mechanical flag, but we've got the pace car back out there. We are hopefully going to be green flag very soon. We can see the field right now. John Stafford, Nico Karavidas, Mike D'Ambrose. We are still full course yellow, but I'm hoping after this pace lap, potentially one more, we will be green flag back to racing. We still have 7 laps, so anything can happen. This is anyone's game. And there we go. This is what we love. This is number 61. My bad. Kevin Lafridge. We love that the team, they jump into action trying to fix whatever the problem is with the fuel that was spilling out. We've got almost 10 guys all working on the car there. That is what team is about. Team Stradale. Good job, guys, out there. And we are back to our field.
So the good thing about it being full track and being full course caution is that Kevin Lawridge, even though he's in the pits right now and he's going to be at the back of the pack, he's not going to be losing any laps. So these guys, so the Team Stradale can actually, you know, get a good indication of what's going on with his car, but you know they can still look thoroughly and see if there any other problems will arise without Kevin Lawridge losing too many time on track.
And we have our safety team out there pulling our other Radical. That is so unfortunate. Not sure what exactly the issue was with that, but once again, Autobahn, all that matters ultimately is safety. We want to get back to racing and see Kevin Lafridge. He's getting back out there. He's got the adrenaline. There are still these 7 laps. He is ready to make his comeback after safety gets into the pit with the other car safely. Then we can recommence. I know my heart is beating. I'm excited. I'm ready for this to happen. Look at the beautiful drone shot. We on this full course track. It's a beautiful day. This is our last race. 7 laps to go. We will soon be under green flag once that one car is brought in. I know I am ready.
Yeah, as the safety team picks up Daryl Drake's car, it looks like we might have another lap behind the safety car, pace car, as you like to call it. And that gives Kevin a little bit more time to catch up to the rest of the field. So even though he's not going to be able to drive full out under yellow flag conditions, he's going to be able to come at an increased pace while also keeping his tires and brakes up to temperature. But if we are doing another lap behind the pace car, then all that advantage that he has won't be there for the start.
I can just imagine what these drivers are feeling right now. They're right on the edge, right on the precipice to be able to race again. It does look like we are doing another lap just to be safe, and we have safety with Daryl Drake's car going in, and Kevin Laffridge passing right by. He's going as fast as he can right now because we still are under the double yellows. And
yeah, so Kevin doesn't have much to do. He's about 5 to 6 corners behind the rest of the field, and I'm not sure what Mike is doing. Mike has a big gap between Nico Karavidas, so I'm not sure if he's trying to keep the distance away from the Wolves just to keep the aero benefit in his favor. But I guess he has a plan for the restart, and that's to keep John Zhu behind him.
exactly, once we do start back up, we are going to have 5 laps halfway through. Every single, not even second, every single millisecond matters with this. I don't even know exactly what strategy they are going to be trying, if they're going to be trying drafting, if they're going to just full send it straight from the beginning. Thank you once again to safety bringing in the car. That's a beautiful shot. I'm sorry, 418, your livery is beautiful. Pace car going out there, full track. We will soon be under the lights out. The lights are out on the pace now. So once the pace car is off track, we will be racing once again. And I can guarantee it is going to be an action-packed, exhilarating last 5 laps.
Yep, and once they cross the start-finish line, it will be 5 to go. So since the lights are out on the pace car, and these guys are going to start weaving back and forth, accelerating hard, then being hard on the brakes just to get temperature in the tires and the brakes. Because these cars, they rely heavily on tire and brake temperature to perform really well. So if you don't have those temperatures between a certain window, then you're not going to get the maximum performance that you want out of the car. So I think that's what Mike is trying to do. I think Mike's just trying to get a little distance between the wolf ahead just so he can have that aero benefits, because these are aero dependent cars. So once you get behind another car, all that aero goes out of the window. So I guess Mike wants to keep that aero, have that advantage so he can keep John Zhu behind him. But John Zhu's going to be attacking from this point on. And while I was talking to John Zhu earlier today, John Zhu said, hey, I know I'm going to be racing Mike, and I'm going to do anything I can to beat him and to win this race.
Exactly. He was talking a bit about the clutch factor and all of that which goes into these radical cars and the wings and things cars. I can't even imagine driving one of these things. I wish I could. But we can kind of simulate that experiences as we're following them with some of the beautiful drone shots. The lights are off on the pace car. I am full of anticipation. Look at them. It's beautiful. It's almost majestic in a sense. I cannot wait. We are so close. So close. We have just a couple more corners and then we will be able to get back to racing. I cannot wait.
And we have the wolf duo of Nico and John just weaving back and forth aggressively just to get the heat into their tires. as they come around the last two corners to take the green flag and continue the last half of this race. And as the pace car pulls in, I think John is just saying going for it. He's just pressed on the gas and he is going. And we are green flag for the restart. John Stafford takes the inside line. And Nico wasn't able to get close enough. So we take green flag for the Radicals, and Mike D'Ambrose is in a good position. And look at Andrew Marks trying to get a jump on John Zhu. And so look at John Mikulski. He's right there with them along with Alone Kim and Kevin Lawridge. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Kevin Lawridge got his problem fixed and was able to rejoin the race without losing any lap. And look, he's back in the same position he was before. Now he just has to push a little bit harder, dig a little deeper. Ooh. Oh, and we have John Mikulski going off a little bit. Just taking a little bit of exit curve, just a little too much. And being in those cars, being so low to the ground, you feel everything. So I know that wasn't a pleasant ride for him. And he has to take it easy for the next couple of laps just to make sure that his tires doesn't, stays to temp.
Exactly. It can be really, really hit or miss going into the grass here with the dirt. Of course, the grass is manicured perfectly. Thank you to people who keep it all beautiful. But dirt still gets up in the wheels. That can absolutely affect your driving abilities. We still have John Stafford and Nico go head-to-head with Mike D'Ambrose and John Zhu. Look at them. Ooh, trying to take that outside corner, John Zhu. But no, it looks like Mike D'Ambrose still holds strong. Good job to them. This is good racing. We are getting close to only 4 laps left.
So Kevin Lawridge is actually a big mover because he went from second to last, and he's right behind John Mikulski. So he was able to get past Alone Kim and Andrew Marks. So great job to Kevin. Kevin's going to try to push to get that last podium position for the Radical class. And as we take a look to the Wolves duo of Nico and John Stafford, it looks like they're kind of smoking. Looks like John's smoking a little bit. Further towards the back, we have Alone Kim just kicking up a little dust, just making a little dust fairies in the background. And right now we have Nico Karavitas taking the top spot, and with John Stafford falling down behind with the gap to 1.2 seconds. So hopefully John Stafford fix whatever problem, or the problem resolved itself, and hopefully he'll be able to push on to Nico and actually give him a good fight for the win.
I mean, those Wolves, they are fast, that's for sure, and they're in their little pack together up there. But I know this is friends off the track. They are rivals on the track. They are vying for that first position. 4 laps left.
Oh, we have a spin from John Zhu. He is way out there in the fields.
No.
Oh no, John. So John Zhu is now sitting off of the track at turns 5 of South Track. And I don't think he's going to be able to get that moving. He is way out there deep in the grass. And with these cars being so low to the ground, it's going to be impossible for him to get out of that. So yeah, it definitely looks like John Stafford has a problem with his Wolf car as he's slowing down on the straight. So Mike D'Ambrose now take the second position overall, followed by John Mikulski if John Stafford is still having his problem. So yes, John Stafford is still having his problem. So new top 3 we have now. So we have Nico Karavitas in P1, Mike D'Ambrose in P2, and John Mikulski in P3 overall. So definitely a shocking change of events that just happened in the past lap. And just like in the Radical races, anything can happen. Just simple as John Zhu going off or just having a problem of John Stafford.
we have gone from 9 vehicles on the track to, is it only 6 now out there? Wow. If that isn't some crazy racing, I don't know what is. But everyone is staying safe, and that's what matters. Although we are, yes, he is going into the pit. It looks like this is very unfortunate what's happening, but hopefully his team, like with Kevin Laffridge, where they were able to quick fix it, hopefully they will be able to do that with him too.
Now the thing about the Wolf cars, these Wolf cars are a little bit more complex than the Radicals. So it's not going to be a simple quick fix. It's going to take a little bit of time. And especially under green flag conditions, we can see him losing a lap or two. Or maybe he just won't go back out. But Nico Karavidas puts in the fastest lap with 2:20.1. So Nico Karavidas by himself able to still push and get the fastest lap.
Nico Karavidas, basically the lone wolf out there. Haha, because he's on a wolf. Sorry.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Now, one thing about Nico and Stafford, just to get into more about them. Nico and Stafford are definitely very good friends on the track, but definitely rivals off track. I mean, very good friends off track, but rivals on track. And so they definitely have this rivalry. So I'm pretty sure Nico Karavidas is definitely going to try to rub it into John Stafford's face a little bit.
Hi.
And as we pick up Alone Kim, and it looks like Andrew Marks, they're having a little battle of their own there, as well as Mike D'Ambrose and I'm sorry, not Mike D'Ambrose, John Mikulski and Kevin Larridge are having their battles as well. So Mike D'Ambrose and Nico are pretty much by themselves for the rest of this race, while the other people battle it out. But John Mikulski is looking very strong on this racetrack right now. Kevin Larridge is getting a little bit closer, but he's still having a hard time just trying to pick and choose where he's going to be able to pass John.
And we are really in these final 2 laps right now. I can hear them zooming past outside there. Oh my goodness, they are going fast. Nico carrying the lead still. But Mike D'Ambrose in his Radical, he is, honestly, the gap is not that large at all, considering it's a Wolf versus a Radical. So good job to Nico and Mike going around turn 1 into 3 and 4. They are so fast, but it kind of looks like they might be holding their position. However, I say that, and then look at what happened just in the past 2-3 laps. So anything can happen. I don't want to jinx it. All I know is that we're having a blast up here. I'm loving this. I hope all of you watching, whether you're on the live stream or in person, is having a wonderful time. Just thank you for good old-fashioned racing.
And that's what these guys are giving to you as well. Good old-fashioned racing. Good close old-fashioned racing.
Ooh.
And it looks like Kevin Larridge is a little bit closer to John Mikulski. Is he going to be able to peek out and give him a little nudge? Nope. Slots back in, stays behind him just to get to draft into the north-south transition. And not close enough for Kevin to actually make a move. So coming into the final lap, I know these guys are going to be all out, especially for the ones that are in battles. But Nico Karavidas and Mike D'Ambrose, they're pretty much by themselves. They're in their own little league, so they just have to keep it on the black stuff and not make any careless mistakes, and they'll be taking the win for their classes. But Nico will be taking the win overall. So white flag to go as Nico just crosses the line to start his final laps. So he has 3.5 miles to go.
Exactly, and this last lap from Nico was his best lap at 2 minutes 19.096 seconds. That is insanely fast. Wow, look at them go. And that is Mike D'Ambro 6-0. He's zooming. We have John Mikulski 2-2. Kevin Loffridge 6-1. Andrew Marks 1-4. They are going. A beautiful shot we have here. Look at them.
Now, if I was Kevin, I would definitely be pushing John a little bit more.
Lone Wolf. Oh my gosh.
And we have our Lone Wolf making his way onto make his way down South Track, going to make his way onto North Track very shortly. So he's going to have about half a lap to go, and he's going to take this very comfortably, which I'm pretty sure he didn't want to take it like this, but a win's a win in Nico's book. Further back down the field, we have John Mikulski and Kevin Loffridge, and they're still having their battle together, with that gap being less than a second. Nico is coming around 5 and 6 up north.
And don't be fooled. It almost looks like maybe they're not going that fast. No, they are going 130, 140, 150 miles an hour, taking this second to last corner. He has one more, and then it is gonna be checkered flags for Nico Karavides. Look at him go. Wow, our Lone Wolf is the winner. Checkered flag is out on Nico Karavides for our final race of Saturday's Festival of Speed. And coming up,
Kevin is in the back.
Kevin has to be careful in that last seconds. Those all matter.
Yeah, and Kevin made a small little mistake. Just took a little extra runoff on the last couple of corners. But he's still close enough to John Mikulski. Will he be able to get a run coming into the final straight? Mike D'Ambro take the win for the Radical Series. And coming across the line next is John Mikulski, followed by Kevin Loffridge. And we have Andrew Marks and Alone Kim fighting for the last. And Andrew Marks takes it in front of Alone Kim. So good racing from everybody. Good racing from everybody. And John Zhu was actually able to get back on track. So John Zhu, I know he's probably just upset right now. But definitely great effort from John Zhu just to take the fight to Mike D'Ambro. Unfortunate he had that mistake, a little after the safety car. But he definitely was able to get back on track and finish the race. Great for him. So we have our results for the Wings and Things race. Nico Karavides takes first place. Mike D'Ambro takes second place. John Mikulski rounds out the podium overall for Wings and Things. But for the Radical class, Mike D'Ambro actually takes first place, followed by John Mikulski, and then Kevin Loffridge rounds out the final position on the podium. Andrew Marks rounds out the top 5 overall. Alone Kim is sitting P6. John Zhu is 7th. 8th is Bob Perry. And our 2 DNFs, 9th, John Stafford. And 10th, Daryl Drake. So great racing that we witnessed today. Great racing from all the classes, from Spec Miata, GT Challenge, and Wings and Things. You guys have been wonderful supporters too. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting these drivers and supporting your drivers as well, and supporting the Autobahn Country Club.
Thank you so much, and have an amazing rest of your afternoon. And hey, we have more fun happening here at Autobahn. We have a concert going on, so stick around. Thank you all so much, folks. Have a great night.
In motorsports, a driver has to be at peak performance the moment they put on their helmet. There's no compromises, no room for error, and definitely no excuses. That's why Autobahn is excited to announce our latest series called Time Attack. On Sundays and festival weekends, members are invited to bring their street legal, unmodified cars to compete for timed laps around our 3.5-mile road course. What is Time Attack? It's a single car, one lap test of a driver's ability to push their vehicle to the absolute limits against the clock in order to achieve the fastest lap possible. We have two classes, cars under 300 horsepower and over 300 horsepower. But it's not just about raw power, it's the combination of driver skill and performance. That's it. You need to lay it all on the line for that one perfect lap. Can you perform under that pressure? Do you have what it takes to become Autobahn's first Time Attack champion?